Hi, my name is Bruce Bolger. I'm founder of the Enterprise Engagement Alliance, and we're an organization dedicated to helping other organizations enhance their performance through people. And I'm putting up my slide here, hopefully that you guys can see the slide of our speakers. Bill Ball, he's actually, I think he's principal of TCB Specialties based in Texas City, Texas. But Bill has a little home in Cozumel, and I think he's calling in today from Cozumel, the poor guy. Roger Thomas, he's vice president of Partners for Incentives, and he actually helped arrange to have Bill on the call because our purpose here in these programs help distributors and marketing companies help their clients improve performance through people through effectively designed incentive recognition, loyalty, and engagement programs. So one more bit of housekeeping. This program is sponsored by Partners for Incentives. They're America's premier dedicated third-party incentive merchandise fulfillment and program administration resource to support the sales of enterprise engagement services by distributors. They do not sell direct, and they offer programs for customers, employees, non-sales employees, and and also channel partners. And finally, the Enterprise Engagement Alliance, we're your free resource. There's a whole bunch of things there. It's all a blur to make the point that if you need any help, we've got it, and a lot of it is free. So I'm going to now stop that. And Roger has been having a few problems with his bandwidth. We will not name the bandwidth supplier out of fairness. But Roger, tell us quickly why you invited Bill to be featured on our show.
I've known Bill for, God, probably 20 years, Bill,
At
at
least.
least. And, he has been involved in the HPPA Association down in Houston. And, he has been selling promotional products for a long, long time. And he wanted to get into incentive and recognition programs. And so, just recently we've helped him do that a little bit. I think we have a years of service program with a healthcare provider, and we've also got kind of a small program that's using award codes. And so, as Bill's looking at his healthcare partners out there, he's looking at us to possibly help him put together a program that would increase his business with those organizations.
Thanks, Roger. So, Bill, tell us a little bit about TCB.
Sure. At TCB, our business is taking care of your business. And we put in taking care of your business so we didn't have to pay Elvis a royalty on the taking care of business. But we are celebrating going on a 27th year as a promotional products distributor. And Roger's absolutely right. And Roger, thank you for inviting me to this. And Bruce, thank you for hosting. We're a small company that does big things. And in any time we look at a venture, I always want to bring the experts in. And when we started going down the recognition and an incentive path, Roger was right there and has helped every step of the way. And if I can stress anything throughout this conversation, it's to bring in the experts, get Roger in front of the people that you need to get in front of, and he can tailor his presentation to the CFO, the CEO, and if you don't watch out, he'll corner the janitor and talk to him too.
Bill, before we delve a little bit into that, I want to hear a little bit about more how you're a humble guy. You've got several employees that work for you, but you built a good lifestyle business. And I really like what you said. You said helping your clients get things done, your slogan there. It seems to me the big opportunity for distributors is that you're there to help people. That's your job.
Absolutely. We
And
are there.
so if you're looking for help, people want help. So tell us a little bit about the culture and some of the types of programs you've built your business on, and then we'll get into the incentive and recognition area.
It's well, as I mentioned, we're a small company. We have 9 employees, and but we have over 100 contractors that specialize in their field. So we really try to partner with our clients, identify their pain points, and try to make those pain points go away. It's helped us throughout the pandemic. We pivoted very quickly and became a PPE supplier. And we were recognized by our clients to be able to do that. We always try to go into our agreements with our clients and identify 4 wins. So that win may be for their client, it may be for themselves, it may be for their employees, but we always try to identify 4 wins. And if we can do that, it'll help us identify those clients that we can work with, and the clients that see the benefit of us. I was just on a meeting with my sales team, and we were covering this exact same thing. And it's what sets us apart from the internet and just people shopping on the internet for promotional products. You can buy a pen anywhere, but are you buying the right pen for the right audience, for the right target?
So really then, I guess then this would explain the pivot, or not the pivot, it's not pivoting, but adding incentive rewards and recognition. This is just yet another need. Tell us a little bit why and how you've begun to develop that.
Absolutely. So we go in and work with our clients, and once again, we try to identify pain points. Is it employee turnover? Do you have a type of recognition program for your employees? Do you recognize your employees for referring new employees? Some of our best employees are referred by people that work for us. So it's an opportunity for a long-term relationship with your clients. And a lot of people would say that we don't want to do it because of the margins, but the margins aren't bad. It's a service that is filling a niche need, and you have the opportunity to present collateral material in the promotional products world to promote the program. So it's not one little piece of the pie, it's the whole entire pie.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because that's what the cross-selling opportunities, it would seem to me, are pretty significant. As you point out, if I'm doing a recognition program, I might need to promote it. If there's a culture program, I need to promote it. If it's a sales incentive, I need to promote it. And then it would seem to me that cross-selling, if you build a good relationship with the client handling one program, there might be other opportunities within that client.
Absolutely, and I would recommend to start small, because the entire program can be a little overwhelming, and it can be overwhelming to the client because there's so many things that you can do. Start small, maybe with a redemption type model, and you'll gain the trust of your customer. And then this worked, you can show them a return on their investment. And then that starts growing out through the different departments. And ideally, at the end of the day, you might have a program for a company that has 20,000 plus employees. And the numbers on that add up very, very quickly.
And I would imagine one of the nice things about it with this model, and Roger, you'll be able to chime in here, is that if you're working with the right partner, you're not getting involved with that nitty gritty. Tell me if I'm wrong. The potential is to make money while you sleep, right? You develop the cash.
Yeah,
you implement it. You make money as the points are redeemed. Roger, tell us a little bit about that model. If
yeah,
you're
it's more of an annuity model. Yeah, exactly. It's more of an annuity model. And once you get a program in place within an organization, and Bill hit the nail on the head, start small, start in one segment of the company. And then with our program, it's flexible enough that you can grow that business significantly across the enterprise, because different people within the organization are going to have different goals and objectives. So you might start off with a human resource department, and you might start off with a years of service program. Maybe you start to incorporate at that point, creating a culture of recognition and putting a recognition and reward program in for the employees. Make the employees feel like they're really wanted within the organization. And then what happens is the other divisions, you might have somebody in wellness, you might have somebody in safety within an organization. When they look at it and they say, God, we could use that within our group and our area. And so we start overlaying these other areas of the program together. And so the program can evolve over a period of time, and it ends up growing into big programs. And what the distributor like Bill find out is that there's low cost of labor. Once we get the program going, all they have to do is manage the relationship and come back to us and say, hey, um, there may be an issue, we'll take care of it, but they're not constantly having to price items out, going through all of that. It's really nice.
Well, I guess you don't have to deal with the tariff issues in the same way, which I'm sure is a lot of fun right now. Um, another thing. So let's talk about the margins for one moment, because a lot of distributors say, well, wait a minute, I can get 25, 35 cents a percent, whatever. But then, to me, and of course, that's great business. It's one of the reasons you're living partly in Cozumel. But on the other hand, you're always going from one sale to the next. You make your sale, then it start again, right? Number two, the order sizes usually are not as big in the incentive, although they can be, as you well know. And then again, it would seem to me that once the program is set up, it's not as, it doesn't is as much a time consumptive for you. So I would imagine from the margin standpoint and the time
Hey,
investment.
Bruce, you froze a little bit.
Yeah, we're having problems here. I'm going to put off my video there. Is that better? Can you hear me
Yeah.
now?
It's kind of
Okay,
coming in and
I'll come
out a
back
little
on in a
bit,
minute.
but give it a second
Pardon me?
and it'll probably come back in.
Yeah, but I'm going to just finish up so that Bill can answer this question. So it would seem to me, Bill, that even though there are less margins, it evens out in the long run in terms of your labor investment per return.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I can't stress enough in partnering with a company like Rogers, because they have the back end. So we do a small amount of fulfillment out of our office, but we could never do what their company does. We couldn't stock the products. We don't have the relationships with the suppliers that they have. And going back to, go back to 101, define your client base. When we first got into this business, I thought everybody was a potential client, everybody. And it turned out I didn't want to work with everybody. I want to work with somebody who sees the value that we bring to the table, somebody that has budgets, somebody that has, X amount of employees, and really define those. And I can't stress enough too that you want to have fun at what you do. So pick an industry that's fun, that you're familiar with. My background was in medical sales, so I'm very, very comfortable in the medical industry. I know how they work. But if you're not familiar with an industry, learn about it. And that's, once again, I just got off a meeting with my sales team, and we're going back to the basics. When you are prospecting for a new client, you want to get out there and learn as much about that client as you possibly can before you even talk to the client. And I want to get back to your margins. The margins, it depends on how much work you have to do. Now, if we had to do a ton amount of work on every day working on this, it might not be worth our time, but we don't. You set it up, and our job is to keep promoting it to the clients. And like you said, I'm a big fan of mailbox money. and and that's really what this is.
I've never heard that phrase. I love it.
It's mailbox money is good. And partnering with a company like Partners for Incentives is key. And so you want to do your due diligence, find out what the company can offer. What do they do differently than the other companies out there? One of the nice things is when you're dealing with a points type program is you want to know what your liability is. And so we're very, very clear and upfront with our customers. If everybody were to redeem every point that they had right now, this is what it would cost. And clear communication is key in a program like this, and defining goals. And the margins will come, especially with expanding the program and providing collateral material to promote the programs, because you have to have all of that in place, or the program won't be successful.
And the funny thing is, really, what you're saying, clients don't like surprises. They don't. It sounds like
Yes.
what you try to do is avoid surprises. Now, the other element is that scares some distributors away is that, there are books on design, program design. They're open-ended program, closed-ended programs, points programs, plateau programs. As you pointed out, if you just run an incentive program and it's not properly communicated, if you run a recognition program and you have not engaged the managers to use it, all of those good things, it will fail. And the good news, what you're saying, is that if you work with a company like PFI, they manage that. But how much do you feel your salespeople need to know? You made the point, it's all about asking questions. And one of the things I've learned in sales myself and managed many a salesperson, if we're not comfortable with something, we don't want to sell it. If we don't have the necessary knowledge, right? And you're talking to a CFO, and all of a sudden she says to you something, oh, right? As salespeople. So how do you get around that? Because you have to be an expert in a lot of things, in promotional products. So how much do you think you need to know? Is it just really knowing the right questions to ask? And Roger, I'm going to ask you that too. But start with you, Bill.
Sure, it's all about asking questions, and the best salesperson, I believe, is a sales consultant. I had a gentleman that I worked for a long time ago, and he kind of put it to me this way: is a salesperson is somebody that wants to separate you from your spare change, and a consultant is somebody that really wants to help you and grow your business. And so we try to go in as a consultant and help define the pain points in our clients. Whether it be getting the word out, or just defining those. And if we go into a program, we want to help our clients define their goal. What are they trying to achieve? Because a lot of times they have this great idea that they want to do this, but they don't know what the end goal is. And so we have to help them define that through just asking a series of questions. And, I think that everybody should be knowledgeable enough to be dangerous. And they also should be knowledgeable enough to, when you're asked a question and you don't know the answer, it's okay to say, I don't know the answer. Let me get back with you. And that's an opportunity to bring Roger in and close the deal.
So Roger, tell us, what do you think
And,
the distributor needs to know? Because one other thing here,
yeah,
as Bill
um,
said, it's about asking the right questions. And the company's area of pain might be in sales. It might be in their channel relationships, with their distribution partners. It could be with customers. What do distributors need to know?
right. And I think Bill hit the nail on the head. It's about asking questions, it's about being consultative with the client. And it's about understanding the client's business a little bit, where a lot of promotional product distributors don't understand their client's business. And so in the first phase of this, it's discovery. And so what I always try and do with with companies like Bill's is help them determine where the potential opportunities are. So there's a couple of areas, in
Hey,
HR,
Roger,
they're going to
we're
be
getting that
interested.
bandwidth problem. Do you want to
Yeah.
maybe turn off your video for a moment and give that a shot?
Okay, sure.
Give it a shot.
Okay. Is that
Better.
any
Go
better?
ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So in the discovery phase, what I would like our distributors like Bill to do is just ask a couple of simple questions. Let's get the size of the breadbasket, right? How many employees does the company have? Are they in one location or multiple locations? Once we find that out, we say, hey, are you currently doing a years of service program or an employee recognition program? And they'll say, yeah, we're doing it. But a lot of times you'll find key issues that they're not happy with who they're currently using. And so then we start to exploit those particular areas and show them how we can improve the program within that. And then as other like safety in hospitals and whatnot, safety is a big issue. Patient safety is a big issue. And so we help them define what that issue is. And a lot of times, they're not um, companies like Bill's are great at asking consultative questions, but sometimes they don't know where to take the potential opportunity. And so that's where they bring me in. And I can talk return on investment type things with a CEO or a CFO or a VP. Typically, we like to get to a VP or a director level in a big organization. And those guys are interested in, how am I going to reduce my turnover? How am I going to improve my productivity? Because that's what they get bonused on. And a lot of promotional product distributors are not comfortable having those conversations with those type of people. But I am. I've dealt with so many different organizations, from the CEO on down. And so I'm able to talk with them about those issues. And once I define what those issues are, then what I do is, Bill and companies like his, the most important thing, and that's the relationship with the customer. And what I like to do is, after we get done having a conversation with one of their clients, with them, I like to circle back to say, hey, what challenges do we have? What obstacles do they have that we have to overcome? What are they not buying into? And it's that consultative process back with companies like Bill's that allow us to put together and fine tune the program so that it works for the end user. And that's the important part. We're not selling a canned program. We're selling a custom program that's going to drive the performance or the revenue of particular companies. And so once we get that in and the clients start seeing the results, now they're really bought into the program. And now other divisions within the company can go, you know what, we could use that in our area.
Roger, why don't you put your picture back on so we can see you while Bill talks? Um, while you're quiet, I
Okay.
think it works. So Bill, we're going to transition. You said something very interesting, finding the right clients. And we're going to get to that in a minute because I think there's something very interesting there. But before that, needs right now. You know, if you have 10 salespeople out there, if you had to throw it out right now, how concerned do you think companies are today about keeping their best talent, about keeping their best channel partners, about sales? Is everybody kind of coasting? You think everybody's kind of fine? Well, we don't care if we lose employees right now. The economy may be going bad. I mean, how important is engagement out there right now, do you think, in businesses?
Oh, engagement is key. And at TCB, we're going back to 101 and identifying who we want to work with and expanding, and also diversifying. So we focus on five main industries, and we try to focus on industries that don't see a lot of fluctuation in the economic turmoil. But some things are you can't really avoid. But if, for example, if you're heavy in oil and gas and they stop drilling, your well is dry. No pun intended on that. So you need to be diversified. And we had one client that put out a memorandum to freeze purchasing, one of our largest clients, and they have put that out for the past 3 months. And that salesperson right now is feeling it. It's coming back, but I took that as an opportunity to let's take this downtime and let's focus on new clients. Let's focus on a different industry that we may not be focusing on. And so when you have that diversification and things happen in the economy, you're not affected so much.
Because you do a lot of work in the healthcare industry, which obviously is not as affected by economic factors. It has its own issues. But another thing, Bill, and we're getting close to the end, and I think this ties into something that's important to you as well. You've mentioned finding the right clients. I would think one of the right signals is a little bit like your company. What, what I know about your company is that your culture, you really care. You've got 10 people, you really care about them. You really, and I'm going to ask you about that because, for instance, if I understand it, your employees can take advantage of a vacation rental in Cozumel as part of their relationship with you. I may have misheard that, but tell me a little bit about your culture and whether it makes sense to look for other companies with that culture because they're going to want to invest in their people too. Tell us a little bit about that, your culture, and whether you think that's reflective of the companies you want to do business with.
Sure, absolutely. We try to provide a very welcoming culture, and we really try to focus on a work-life balance. And there's not one meeting that I have where I don't reiterate that we work to live, we do not live to work. And we have a lot of fun. We try to have a lot of fun, but when it's time to take care of business, we take care of business. And I think that our clients see that in us. And I had a situation where it was a promotional product, and one of my clients had two bids, same exact product, and she went with us. We were more expensive, 50 cents per item. And her intern actually said, "So I don't understand. You have this product, same product. He's charging you 50 cents more. Why are you buying it from him?" And she said, "Because I know they will take care of it and take care of our business." And so the relationships that you have with your clients is key. And Roger's exactly right. He can't have a relationship with all of the clients that we have, but he can direct us and guide us through and help us navigate and offer suggestions. So that's why you bring in the experts. Corporate culture is very important. Pick those companies that you like to work with that have a good message, and have that just all throughout your presentations. It's be genuine and provide a good work environment. I think that's key.
Well, folks, a very simple tool today to help understand your clients better is, I hate to say it, it is AI, Copilot or ChatGPT. If you're talking to somebody, take their LinkedIn profile, go copy the company's key parts of their annual report where they talk about their culture, um, and then throw that into ChatGPT and ask, the good questions. Please describe this culture. Please describe their focus. Please describe what their areas of pain might be right now. And again, the terrible thing about AI is you have to be smart enough to know when it's wrong. You have to be smart enough to know when it's missing something because it's often wrong and it's often missing something. So I like to call AI like an intern, right? A college kid or lady. And by the way, that's a whole other discussion. Everybody, I think, should learn these tools because if they do, it will make them more powerful. And I've seen Bill and Roger, how much disruption have we seen that they said the whole world was going to end, right? The internet was going to destroy everything. And it did destroy a lot of things, but it created a bunch of new ones. And I'm sure we'll all be there to enjoy that, hopefully. Anyway, folks, this has really been terrific. Bill, thank you so much. So one last question to you, Bill. Do you expect, you talked about diversification. Do you expect this part of your business to be a focus and growth part of your business?
Absolutely. It's a key focus, and it's a key focus to helping our clients do what they need to do. And so we have a great opportunity right now in the fact that people are going back to the workforce. We are welcoming them back into the office. So we had challenges or during the pandemic when we had to welcome everybody in the home and have that camaraderie. Now we have that opportunity to welcome them back into the office. And some are, kicking and screaming, but we try to make it, once again, we try to make that pain point go away and make it fun and enjoyable and beneficial for all.
Well, thank you so much, Bill, for this. And Roger, thank you so much for selecting Bill. And folks, I'm not going to tell you what Bill might be doing this afternoon from his home in Cozumel. I'm sure it's helping a client. Anyway, Bill, thanks again. Roger, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Take care.